Welcome. Today, we return to a mystery rooted in the heart of the Easter Island archipelago, the enigma of the Moai, traditionally thought of as ancient symbols of religion and giant statues. But what if the truth is far deeper and more terrifying? What if these stone monuments do not only serve as memorials, but also conceal powerful secret mechanisms, protecting us from an unknown force, a force that we may have inadvertently awakened? In this investigation, we will uncover incredible facts, from the discovery of artificial tunnels to mysterious anomalies inside underground chambers. In just a century, Easter Island has transformed from a picturesque paradise into a battleground between mysterious technologies and a destructive force hidden beneath its surface. Why did the advanced stoneworking technologies and underground structures disappear so suddenly? What horror secrets do the hundreds of statues hide? And what could happen if their protective systems suddenly fail? Today, this is not just an archaeological mystery. Our future, our safety, and the secret kept underground for centuries are at stake. In this video, we will piece together scattered evidence and reveal what lies behind the legends, who or what has been sealed in the depths of the island, and why the story of the Moai might become the most dangerous revelation for all humanity. Are you ready to see what is hidden in the archives and beneath the earth? Then, let's begin. In the distant 18th century, when the first Europeans set foot on Easter Island, their gaze was filled with wonder and bewilderment. Over the ocean's expanse, amid the endless waves of the Pacific Ocean, this mysterious patch of land emerged, volcanic, devoid of trees and vibrant colors, inhabited by exhausted, emaciated residents, seemingly cut off from time and space. Admiral Jacob Bragwin, the captain of the ship, compiled his report, a full document with notes, where he first recorded the state of the island, its landscape, and its people. At that time, no one could understand what was truly hidden behind this harsh terrain, these statues and ancient structures. Yet even then, on its black volcanic rocks, as if armor, lay hundreds of giant stone monoliths, the Moai, reaching into the sky, like guardians protecting the secrets of ancient ages. These statues stretched along reef shores and central plazas, ranging from several meters to over 20, weighing hundreds of tons, crafted from volcanic ash and pumice stone, meticulously processed to create the illusion of fine workmanship with the thinnest basalt chisels. The technology, seemingly incredible for that era, only basalt tools and shards, from an epoch that embodied the genius knowledge of ancient masters, created a wonder that today is hard to fully comprehend. But if one only considers this superficially, it might seem to be about ritual or cult monuments meant for worship. However, the truth runs much deeper. These stone giants, these snarling faces and stairways, are not merely symbols of faith. There is evidence indicating that their construction and erection were not solely for religious rituals or magical ceremonies. Hidden systems are located inside and beneath them, interconnected by mysterious tunnels leading deep into the earth. Modern research, conducted with new technologies, continues to uncover new secrets. Ground-penetrating radar and acoustic cameras have revealed a network of underground passages and chambers beneath the main sites, precisely where findings that shock archaeologists have been made. Remnants of victims, broken artifacts, traces of struggle, all attest to injuries and violent events that took place in ancient times. Inside these chambers, samples have been found showing extreme thermal effects and chemical treatment of bones, suggesting rituals associated with sealing or trapping human remains within statues. These procedures were neither accidental nor spontaneous. They are part of a complex system, a practice designed to entomb some dangerous force within the rock, an entity beyond modern understanding. When a careful researcher begins to listen to the continuous low-frequency hum, the source of these strange acoustic anomalies heard inside the underground chambers. It becomes clear that this phenomenon is not connected to nature. It is a testament to the presence of some invisible force, or even consciousness, and living embodiment of ancient knowledge. By studying the recordings, scientists have detected acoustic deviations and vibrations as if something lives within the stone structures, ready to speak out, to knock on the consciousness. At the same time, legends and stories of the native inhabitants, their memories of civil wars, bloody rituals, and brutal sacrifices, as well as excavations of trenches and fires, all confirm that in the past, something more than religious ceremonies was happening on the island. Archaeological finds point to a sudden and large-scale act of violence, a mass destruction, a crisis epoch coinciding with dates of major internal conflicts, events seemingly emerging from the shadows of time, forming a chain of mysterious and tragic occurrences. Now the main question arises: could these giant monuments, the Moai and related rituals, have served not merely as symbols of reverence, but as part of a complex system, a mechanism for suppressing an unknown force, not in the usual sense of power, but a powerful technological or ritual mechanism created for the protection of all humanity? Not dangerous magic, but a system utilizing ancient masters' knowledge to seal and contain what lies beneath the earth. A force hostile, destructive, and inaccessible to the human mind. And is it not a coincidence that these structures suddenly malfunctioned or were destroyed? What exactly happened then? Perhaps these ancient mechanisms were the key to something far greater than worship of idols or cult rituals itself. Part 3 of 8. What if, in essence, they are sealed performers or hostages confined within stone walls, serving as a kind of barrier against the destructive force that was unleashed or inadvertently released? So, if we consider all the evidence, their technological complexity, archaeological finds, hidden network of underground tunnels, acoustic anomalies, and the tragic history of the cities and their inhabitants, the question becomes more than just philosophical. It turns into a mystical, bloody challenge, a ritualistic enigma threatening the entire world. What were these giant statues truly guarding? Why, after centuries, did the powerful systems built to protect them suddenly become broken or destroyed? What got out of control? Which forces were sealed? And what happened to cause their destruction? And most importantly, what might await us as we descend into the deepest parts of these secret systems to open hidden gates and perhaps confront what was never meant to awaken? Likely, the answers to these questions have long been hidden behind the walls of time, concealed within stone monuments and mysterious underground chambers. Perhaps these systems, constructed over centuries, were not just symbols or rituals, but mechanisms of containment, a safeguard against a dangerous force that was meant to remain forever sealed. But if all of this is an illusion and the systems are broken, then what is at risk? What could awaken upon being released from its imprisonment? What horrors lie ahead if myths and legends, great secrets and tangible evidence finally intertwine? What if, ultimately, we face an unavoidable conclusion? That these ancient structures were not only symbols, but also weapons and the key to unknown powers, and that their destruction is only the beginning of the final stage of revealing a terrible secret that could destroy everything we know about our world? Powerful figures and mysterious ruins covered in centuries of ash and legends. All of them conceal a terrible truth hidden behind the monumental Moai of Easter Island. These giant stone statues, caravans from the Stone Age, fascinated archaeologists and historians with their scale and mystery. But if we look deeper, behind the appearance of prayer idols, there are not only ritual symbols, but highly intricate technological constructions, systems capable of containing something far more dangerous than the imprints of ancient cults. Only modern experiments and scientific discoveries shed light on the true purpose of these monuments. They are not just idols for worship, they are mechanisms, traps, prisons, holding inside powerful, uncontrollable energies or entities. Almost all of the nearly 800 Moai were carved from a special type of volcanic tuff, lightweight for processing but extremely durable. This material came from within the caldera of a gigantic volcano that had dominated the island since ancient times. Archaeologists discovered tools, basalt chisels, and stamps, evidence of the highest mastery of ancient stonemasons, who meticulously selected every fresco and detail. These findings are not accidental. They indicate that creating statues required multi-generational expertise, strict standardization, and entire systems of knowledge passed down from generation to generation. The process was so complex that each statue resulted from painstaking work by scientific teams, representing a strange combination of ritual ceremonies and technological calculations. Interestingly, within the quarry cuttings and beneath the surface of the island, unprocessed blocks, unfinished statues, and even tools left in haste were found. Like a project abruptly completed, with time itself seemingly frozen. Studies suggest that production did not cease due to resource shortages. So, why did the ancient craftsmen suddenly disappear, leaving their unfinished works as if victims of an unknown catastrophe that halted their usual way of life? Experiments from the 20th century and modern archaeological research have offered new answers. In particular, Japanese scientists in the 21st century replicated the transport methods used by the ancients. Using models and mechanical devices designed to closely emulate ancient techniques, they proved that statues could be moved more easily by swaying them to shift their center of gravity, making it possible to transport them without wheels or large crews. This way, without relying on bulky machinery or heavy equipment, statues could be moved from quarries to installation sites. Today, these experimental setups demonstrate that transporting giant monuments across the island is not a legend, but a proven feat of ancient engineering. However, the uniqueness of these methods extends beyond their technological simplicity. Complementing the picture, archaeologists found that massive stone cylinders, called pukao, were erected near the quarries. Weighing up to 12 tons, they made transportation even more challenging, since these stone blocks served as bases or supports for the statues. Their installation required not only specialized machinery, but also precise stability calculations. This fact suggests that the ancient builders devised, or rather designed, complex systems of stabilization and reinforcement that were meant to ensure long-term durability and safety. But the most crucial part of this mystery lies not only in creation and transportation. Archaeologists discovered beneath the statues, inside artificially constructed tunnels and chambers, often built with dry masonry, the remains of people, victims, as well as ritual artifacts. These chambers, invisible to surface scanning, contain more than just ancient dust. They held something greater. Analysis of the discovered skeletal remains showed signs of unexplained burning, as well as other abnormal processes, as if not only bodies, but also something living or resilient had been placed in these hidden chambers, and that this entity continues to remain there. Modern hearing aids detected persistent infrasonic signatures, low-frequency vibrations that are inaudible to the human ear, but create a constant sense of danger. All of this testifies to active processes hidden within the underground systems of the island, something that continues even centuries after the mass construction efforts ended. This activity could be man-made or natural, but the evidence clearly indicates that something dangerous lies beneath the surface, capable of disturbing the entire island's balance. The main question now is whether the preservation mechanism created on Easter Island was solely for ritual purposes, or if its functions extended beyond spiritual worship. These monuments, beyond serving as cult symbols or statues, could have acted as mechanical or energy-locking devices. Perhaps the ancient people designed a system intended not only for veneration or intimidation, but also for containment of an unknown destructive force capable of harming or consuming all human civilization if released. The question remains open. Could this containment system, a combination of technological means and magical rituals, withstand the test of time? And if so, why did it suddenly break down? How did it happen? And who ended up as the destroyer of the system? Considering that these monuments may have served a protective function, the disappearance or disruption of the system would be more than an act of human overconfidence. It could be a potential release of darkness that, according to some sources, is stored beneath the surface, trapped in man-made traps. What if a formidable force still lurks deep within the island, ready to be unleashed and consume everything? Did the civilization that created these systems somehow allow their destruction? Did someone or something break through the centuries-old containment? And most importantly, who or what might be behind the destructive force hidden beneath the harsh defenses of the manuscripts and mechanisms of Easter Island, which have remained untouched for millions of years? The investigation continues, clues are being gathered, and the secret remains far from being revealed. But one thing is certain. The key to understanding the fate of this island and its rich yet concealed versions of hidden systems lies within the monuments themselves. The only question is whether humanity can once again figure out how to disable or strengthen these ancient mechanisms to prevent them from destroying everything built over the centuries. Or perhaps the limits of human understanding are the very reason why the island repeatedly hides its secret, as if forever sealed within the stone walls of the past. In the shadow of ancient stone statues arranged along the curves of the coastline, not only silent witnesses of vanished civilizations are hidden, but also mysterious evidence that is now beginning to reveal its secrets. In the 21st century, with the advent of modern technologies, ground-penetrating radars, acoustic sensors, ultra-sensitive analysis systems, humanity has once again encountered astonishing facts. These facts leave no room for doubt. Beneath the surface of the island, at the foot of the giant Moai statues, there exists a complex, multi-layered architecture, a network of tunnels, chambers, and fortifications built with dry stone masonry. Extensive research has shown that these underground structures are interconnected, forming an entire laboratory, an entire system that likely serves as some sort of mechanism, a lock, designed to contain an ancient force. Looking into the depths, scientists discovered charred human remains inside the chambers, which is most striking. Evidence of ritual activity, mysterious symbols, and glyphs that bear no resemblance to known languages or scripts, such as Rongorongo, famed among the island's culture. These markings are clearly not random. They appear as messages or instructions, evidence of efforts to lock, seal, or cleanse something. One can imagine, in the silent night under a cloudless sky, using torches and primitive tools, with supplies of blood and bones, rituals were performed. All of this was driven by the attempt to seal or destroy, to neutralize some evil that surpasses much of what we can understand in scale. But what is particularly intriguing are the acoustic studies, supported by analyses. In these underground spaces, a constant, initially elusive, but permeating infrasound hum has been recorded. It is like the breath of a great monster, spreading through the inner corridors, vibrating in the walls, audible at the boundary between the heard and the unseen. Analyses show that beneath all this lies an energy source, active, perhaps natural or artificial, something that may possess destructive or controllable power. The grandeur and antiquity of these structures evoke the feeling that they conceal keys to long-forgotten or even forbidden knowledge. Only by examining samples of the bones can one realize that we are dealing not merely with an archaeological artifact. Among the charred remains, traces of intense heating were found, thermally scorched bones indicating acts of sacrifice, bloody rituals associated with attempts to reinforce or even seal some force. The people who lived here centuries ago did not sacrifice themselves by chance. Their sacrifices contained hope for protection, or conversely, a struggle against some unknown monster. Importantly, modern simulation models demonstrate that the destruction of these statues is not merely an uncontrolled act of vandalism. It signifies the start of a chain reaction. Fine-tuned systems likely had their limits, a balance that seemed to have been maintained over centuries. But their entire complexity lies in the fact that when even a part of these giants falls and disintegrates, the system becomes dramatically unstable. One broken statue, one fallen Moai, and the entire structure is at risk. Many researchers believe that such failures can trigger a cascade effect, potentially releasing to the surface something that has been sealed for eternity. Modern analyses, supported by models, show that the pressure inside the island's core, caused by activity, does not subside. Vibrations emanating from the depths indicate that some form of power still exists beneath the surface, the original source whose presence can only be guessed at. These internal forces, perhaps inherently magnetic or gravitational, are still prone to boundary breaches, fractures, and destruction. Therefore, a long-sealed ancient danger could suddenly be unleashed. If a door is opened, if the sealed underground labyrinths are disturbed, stories passed down through generations are recorded in hallucinogenic and mystical legends, archaeological finds, and inscriptions, evidence that something from the depths of millennia was connected to rituals aimed at unlocking or, conversely, sealing the unknown. Undoubtedly, since the late 17th century, these sites have become targets of mass pogroms, insane attempts to destroy statues, shatter thoughts, and break stones. What was their purpose? Can anyone comprehend the meaning of these symbols? Who and why created them, transforming the island into a boiling cauldron of magic and secret knowledge? The evidence is unequivocal, as well as religious or cultural motives. There was likely an attempt within these rituals to hold back or remove a danger that, in the future, could acquire power surpassing anything humanity has ever seen. The question arises, what will happen if this containment system completely collapses? What will become of us if, unaware of the true cost, we continue meddling with forbidden knowledge? Will we dare, prisoners of our passion for discovery, to look beyond the bounds of reason? Analysis shows that the potential danger is very high. No coincidence that all the tension within these underground halls and the activity recorded by scientists indicate that something sealed for centuries has not disappeared but merely waits for its chance. If the mechanism fails, the consequences could extend beyond the island, beyond the limits of assumptions. There is a possibility of the resurgence of an ancient power capable of destroying this world itself if we do not find a way to stop it. And the scariest part is the question of responsibility. In the face of the unfolding archaeological and scientific picture, an alarming conclusion emerges. How does humanity tend to treat these uncovered secrets? Will greed, curiosity, and recklessness prevail and unleash the sealed force? If so, human curiosity could become the key to a new, even more catastrophic disaster. The main question before us is whether to ask questions whose answers could be destructive not only for the island and its inhabitants, but for the entire world. And who can stop a force that is beyond human understanding? Considering everything that is now coming to light, the only question that remains is whether it is too late.